If you say you'll call on Monday, fucking call on Monday update. Sent a follow-up email early Tuesday morning. Hiring manager just replied 7 and said they went with a stronger candidate, despite specifically mentioning I was one of them. Cool edit. Company is not based in the US. Stop trying to tell me there's a holiday. There isn't. Title: Ace the interview. Got some laughs from the hiring managers. Gave them all the right answers. Even kissed us a little about the history of the company. The interview ends with "We'll call you on Monday." Well, Monday is pretty much over, and no call. Maybe there was a catastrophe and offers were being put on hold. Maybe they did more interviews instead. Maybe someone else got the job. All fine reasons, but you still owe me the common decency of calling me or updating me when you said you would. I didn't go through all this stress and preparation just to be fucking ghosted. Fuck's sake. It is very possible you did go through all the stress and preparation just to be ghosted. As much as it sucks, it is best to shed your expectations, never think you will get a call back, and focus on applying to other jobs. Pudding Cream 641K, thank you for a helpful response. I went in with no expectations on getting the job, but somehow still expected some sort of communication from the hiring manager. I guess this job might have been a bullet dodged if they couldn't be bothered to update me. Sucks. But what can I do? 121 reply, share, report, save, continue this thread. First, take a breather. Second, send a polite email about any updates. Don't demand info about whether they made a concrete decision, but a simple hello, insert name of point person. I am just checking in regarding the position. You can fluff it up, but make sure the tone remains friendly and cordial. This will reinsert your name into discussions if they are ongoing and if they ghost that email. Well, probably not a good place to work. Third, to the take a breather point. Times are strange during COVID. Getting entire groups together to discuss a hire can sometimes violate health safety protocols, so that often causes delays. And sometimes the discussions take days, and vetting out other potential candidates is always a possibility. Delays happen. Maybe one happened or maybe it didn't, but to assume they ghosted you right off the bat might be jumping to an incorrect conclusion. Someone else said it best. Don't walk out of interviews like you got the job. Walk out believing you do your best. That mentality prepares you much better for both a letdown but also a success. Earning something is way better mentally than expecting it, if that makes sense. Sauce. Hiring assistant technical side in biotech. Fair points, thank you. I'll spend some time tomorrow on a follow-up email, and like you said, if they ignore that too, well, maybe a bullet dodged. Thanks for your suggestion. I needed a rant, but some clarity is also helpful. I'll second this. Before I was hired at my current place, I dealt with what feels like a similar screening experience. I had a wonderful interview Monday morning, sent a really thoughtful follow-up that afternoon, and was told I'd hear by Thursday. Thursday rolls around and nothing. I sent a polite follow-up, just asking if everything was going well and if they still expected to have a decision within the next day or so. My current boss was actually very open with me and said he had some last-minute changes to his schedule that caused him to move interviews around, and he'd make his decision by Sunday. Sunday rolls around and I hear nothing, so I decide he is clearly gone with someone else. I wake up Monday morning to an offer letter in my email. Things change. Schedules get switched around. Emergencies happen. I wouldn't take it personally just yet. It is probably something easily explainable if you allow them to. Them being one day late on emailing me would definitely not be enough for me to freak out like up and assume it's a terrible company scam. They may have just had a busy day and are planning to get in touch ASAP or are waiting to finish interviewing others etc. I would just email and say, dear their name, I hope you had a good weekend and are faring well through the blizzard. I just wanted to say thanks again for the opportunity to interview with company, insert positive comments about interview company, and your confidence in your ability to perform well in its position. Please let me know if there's anything else you need from me, and I look forward to hearing from you once company has finalized this decision. Sincerely, your name. Tell me about it. I went through an hour and a half of online assessments for AT, and 2 separate long tedious interviews which ended very well. Was told I'd be contacted in a few days regarding if I got the job or not. Sent a follow-up the next day thanking them blah 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 blah. About 3 or 4 weeks went by with a total of 2 additional follow-ups and never heard a word from them. Don't work for AT. Whoa, this is exactly why I avoid assessments like the plague. Fuck that shit. I'm with ya, man. I have had this happen multiple times. Just recently some recruiter said we will call you either way, and I immediately thought, woo, this is incredibly refreshing. Dude, it is one day. Yeah, it sucks they said something specific. But shit happens, and this doesn't even reach the threshold of shit. I had the same thing. Walked there in a blizzard, 40 minutes speaking. Went really well. Met the director, and they loved my portfolio and then they said they'd call midweek. By Friday when they mailed, I knew it was already over. Haha. Seems like the old joke about the best interviews never leading to a job is probably true. At least we can both stop placing any importance on what hiring people say, since we know firsthand it can all be disease. We know, hey, Leo, why is it sad? Oh, yeah, because you, why, hey, prior, life happens. Things come up. It is a funny little quirk of people that when they fail to come through on something, there is always a valid reason to excuse them. But if anyone else does it, they are instantly evil liars. Coming from a hiring manager, nothing in real life is static. Learn to let go more and not expect the hiring process to be anything but dynamic. Let me give you the reasons why. 1. Hundreds of applicants. I work for an international corp, so one job posting yields hundreds of resumes. And once the ET system kicks back the ones that best fit the job description, I then have to weed through all of those and set up interviews, calls, etc., not to mention coordinating the interview with my schedule, my boss's schedule, and the schedule, which is not a small nor easy task too. Timing. Although in my head I may expect to be done with the whole process and be ready to make an offer a week later, but then life happens. I get sick and am out for a few days. I lose an employee and have to redistribute their work. The company sent notification they will have a hiring freeze. The budget gets lowered. I get called out on a business trip. A ton of things pop up in a company that can and do change timing. Special note, if a dynamic timely negatively affects you overall, that will affect your performance and thus your employment. 3. COVID. The Rona is crazy. It changes everything daily, and in the business world that is tough to keep up with. One day I can onboarding, next day I'm told to hold off, next day I'm given more resumes to review, next day I can't track down my boss to get a final answer on when to onboard, and so on. Point being, don't get upset over this stuff. It is frustrating on both sides. Send a respectful and professional follow-up email, not one tinged with emotion, because that will get you denied. If you do not get a response from that email, move on, stay positive, and apply elsewhere again. Be dynamic and move with time. This is exactly what I was going to post. Any company that is remotely large, there is far more than one person involved in hiring. In my experience, hiring managers and recruiters are some of the most unprofessional people I've dealt with, and that includes even for internal hiring, which is absolutely insane to me. Just curious, but where do you live? That Monday was almost over 2 ago. Pudding Prima 641K ago Australia. It is 9 up right now at 26. Reply, share, report, save, continue this thread. That has happened to me before as well, and it is frustrating. I would say call or send a polite email about the status of your interview. I had an interview on the 6th. They say they'll call me within 1-2 days. They call me on Tuesday stating how they need an extra week to conduct more interviews to decide, and they'll call me in a week's time. Quote, we don't want to leave you hanging or left wondering. We know how that feels, and no call at all. So I'm going to have to call them on Tuesday for a follow-up. I'm still low-key hopeful I got it, since it is such an upgrade from my last job, and the best I can find. Best of luck. I hope you get it. Jacker 2011 4 hours ago. Good luck 41 reply share report save. Been through this twice recently. One is now 2 months no update. The other was 15-day wait from third Monday. In both situations they made it sound like a done deal regarding employment. At one point I thought I was Earl being pranked or something. Feel your pain though. It is fucking horrid. So keep your chin up. Sure, you'll smash it eventually. Can see you are passionate about whatever it is you are doing, or maybe just money. This used to be one of my biggest pet peeves, but now I've learned to see it as a fed flag. If they can't follow through with a simple promise now, they likely wouldn't be able to follow through with promises in the future as your employer. It sounds dramatic, but every job I had growing up or in my adult years that had a boss management that was kind of horrible all had this in common. I'll send you the email with XA's information on this date. I'll follow up with your referral this week. I'll make sure you're refunded for your personal computer on the next check. The list goes on and on. Management that will care about your time and value you as a team member will demonstrate that during the hiring process in most cases. I recently had the same situation happen, 3 interviews, one of which was 2 hours long where I met the entire team I'd be working with. I was even asked to send over a write-up of the interview and suggestions I had made. A data pulled on their website and social platforms. I was told I'd hear back in 2 days and the hiring manager was speaking as if I was already hired. Lol. 2 days came and went, and I knew my job-seeking journey was far from over and would not be getting this job. Out of principle, I gave them 2 weeks and then emailed the hiring manager. And I recommend you do the same after a small grace period. I simply said, "Dear Stidko, I hope you and your team are well. I am following up on the position for which we interviewed on date, and date. Best, C." The manager responded apologizing and giving excuses for the very late reply that honestly would have just been a ghosting situation had I not forced a semi-formal rejection. Don't let them get away with this behavior. Rejections are uncomfortable. I know I used to work in management, but I always followed through because people deserve to know if they've spent time interviewing with me or my team. Ghosting isn't okay. We are better than this. If it makes you feel any better, I had a job interview and didn't hear back from them for 3 weeks. I figured I didn't get it, but they said a lot had been going on and they hadn't hired anyone yet. I have been there 2 years now. Keep looking for other jobs though. No offense, but why can't you call and follow up? They may want to see how bad you want the position. Follow up never hurts. Best wishes, and I hope you get the position you are looking for. The disrespect job seekers get from hiring companies is epic. I've set up appointments for specific date time for phone interviews. No phone call came at SAR. I've started doing the same to companies where I've interviewed but didn't see them as a good fit for me. When they call for a second interview, I just ignore them. 5 frantic phone calls later, they get the message. I love leading on shitty recruiters and then ghosting them once they offer me a position. I have all the time in the world. I'm unemployed. Sorry to hear this. It is such a major problem. Exactly why RABOT reaches out to every single candidate, applicant to tell them exactly what's going on in the hiring process. Yep, interview was last Monday, was told I would hear within a few days, so in my mind Thursday, Friday at the latest. Mailed them today, got told I would hear something today or tomorrow. Got an email at 4:20 this afternoon saying I had been rejected. I just expect to be ghosted now. It is not worth the emotional energy.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.